phenytoin, which is a class 1B antiarrhythmic, helps control irregular heartbeat and is used as a preventative against seizures.
Calamine lotion can be used as an astringent, but is more commonly used to relieve pain, itching, and minor skin irritations. Warfarin, also known as Coumadin, is a commonly prescribed blood thinner. It acts on the liver to decrease proteins in the blood that cause clotting. Lopinavir is an antiretroviral from the protease inhibitor class used to treat HIV. It is used in a fixed-dose combination with ritonavir. Halothane is an inhalational general anesthetic. It is the only inhalational vein anesthetic agent containing a bromine atom.
Sodium valproate is used in the treatment of epilepsy, panic attack, and post-traumatic stress disorder. It is marketed as Depicon and Depikene and requires administration of a mood stabilizer.
Sulfasalazine, with the trade name azolfidine, is used to treat rheumatoid arthritis and is also used to treat irritable bowel disease.
Lidocaine plus epinephrine is a local anesthetic that is used in dentistry and minor surgery. It is given topically and multiple concentrations are available. Oxamniquine is used to remove worms from the body. It causes worms to move from mesenteric veins to the liver, where male worms are retained, but female worms return back to mesenteric veins but cannot release any more eggs. Bupivacaine, with the trade names Marcaine, Sensorcaine, and Vivacaine, is a local anesthetic that is applied by injection. Bupivacaine causes nerve block, epidural, and intrathecal anesthesia. Povidone iodine is a stable chemical complex of polyvinyl pyrrolidone. It is soluble in cold water, ethyl alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, polyethylene glycol, and glycerol, and exhibits a broad range of microbial activity against bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Miglustat treats type 1 Gaucher disease by inhibiting the synthetase of glucosylceramide. It is extracted from plants and microorganisms.
Streptomycin is the first antibiotic remedy for tuberculosis. It is a bactericidal antibiotic that cannot be given orally, but must be administered by regular intramuscular injections. Ethinyl estradiol plus levonorgestrel is the first orally active semisynthetic steroidal estrogen. It is used as an emergency contraceptive to prevent pregnancy. Cefazolin is a drug administered by intramuscular injection. It is used to treat bacterial infections of the skin and is effective against staphylococci and streptococci of gram-positive bacteria. Podophyllum resin is a cytotoxic agent that is used to prevent the growth of wart tissue. However, it is very poisonous and can cause serious side effects. Oxygen gas is produced commercially and is used in emergencies or long-term treatment of patients with respiratory disorders. Sodium thiosulfate is a colorless crystalline compound that is used in the treatment of ringworms and tinea versicolor, but is also an antidote for cyanide poisoning.
Capreomycin. Capreomycin is administered intramuscularly. It inhibits the growth of bacteria, treats lung infection, and is usually given once a day for 2 to 4 months. The brand name is capistat sulfate. Acyclovir belongs to the group anti-infective agents. It is a guanosine analog antiviral drug. It treats herpes simplex virus. Resistance is common in patients in chronic antiviral prophylaxis.
Chloroquine, 4-aminoquinoline, used in the prevention and treatment of malaria. Taken 2 weeks before entering an area where malaria is present, while in the area, as well as 4 weeks after leaving. Other uses include the prevention of rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. Trade names: Erelin.
Insulin. Structure discovered in 1953 by Frederick Sanger. Made in the islets of the pancreas. 51 amino acids total. Regulates carbohydrates and fat metabolism. The lack of insulin causes type 1 diabetes. Excess insulin causes type 2 diabetes. Too much insulin causes kidneys to regulate urine more often.
Cholera vaccine. A vaccine used in the prevention of cholera, which is an infection in the small intestines caused by bacteria. There are 3 to 5 million cases per year. That does not offer 100% effectiveness. Injected vaccine was replaced with the oral vaccine starting in the 1980s. Rifampicin, isoniazid, pyrazinamide, and ethambutol. Group anti-tuberculosis medicines. Not commercially available in the U.S. or Canada. Orally taken for initial treatment phase of tuberculosis. Given in film-coated tablets. Typical dose: pyrazinamide and ethambutol given for 2 months. Rifampicin and isoniazid given for 4 months. Praziquantel, used for flatworm infections. Treats nematode, tapeworm, and fluke infections. Dosage: 1 mg per liter for 2 to 5 days, 2.5 mg per gram food taken orally. Ingested by fish. Humans eat fish and become host to worms. Dying parasites dislodged from hosts may enter systemic circulation or destroyed by phagocytosis. Nicotinamide, a water-soluble vitamin and part of the vitamin B group. Benefits to patients with inflammatory skin conditions. Acts as a chemo and radio sensitizing agent by enhancing tumor blood flow. Also known as niacinamide and nicotinic acid amide. Trade names: Nicomide. Mannitol, group diuretics, promotes diuresis for the treatment of acute renal failure. Is an osmotic diuretic that is metabolically inert in humans and occurs naturally as sugar in fruits and vegetables. Trade name: Osmotrol. Dronabinol, abbreviated to D9-THC and also known as tetrahydrocannabinol, a psychoactive compound extracted from the resin of cannabis. Controls nausea and vomiting associated with cancer chemotherapy. Reduces pressure within the eyes associated with glaucoma. May be habit forming. Pseudoephedrine, trade name: Sudafed, nasal sinus decongestant and stimulant, given in 12-hour and 24-hour extended release tablets or liquid, given over the counter, should be taken as directed but can be used as needed. Levothyroxine, group thyroid hormones or antithyroid medicines. It's a hormone replacement for people with thyroid problems, a synthetic form of the thyroid hormone. It is used to treat hypothyroidism by controlling the thyroid-stimulating hormone. Avoid calcium and iron supplements while taking, as these can reduce absorption of the drug. Trade names: Eltroxin, Euthyrox, and Letrox. Cefpirone, a meningitis drug, highly active against gram-negative bacteria, a 4th-generation drug. Trade name: Cefron, Not available in the U.S. Amitriptyline treats depression disorders, anxiety disorders, ADHD, and migraine prophylaxis. Side effects are dry mouth and drowsiness. Trade name Elavil. Given orally or intramuscularly.
Phytominodoin is a fat-soluble vitamin naturally obtained from green plants. It's used in the prevention of deficiency of vitamin K in newborns. It's required for bone protein formation and is also known as vitamin K1. No recommended daily allowance. Salbutamol, used to treat bronchospasms. Prevents asthma, bronchitis, and emphysema. The brand name, Benylin. Given orally, intramuscularly, or as an inhalant. Maximal effects take place within 5 to 20 minutes of dosing. Yellow fever vaccine consists of live strands of yellow fever, used since the 1950s, lasts for 10 years. Vectors include mosquitoes, ticks, phlebotomine flies, and other parasitic arthropods. Symptoms also include fever, headache, bloody nose, nausea, and slow heartbeat. Glucose with sodium chloride. The two are combined to give a saline solution. It's a nasal irrigation used to wash wounds as well as clean new piercings. Administered intravenously or by mouth and can treat cystic fibrosis.
Calcium gluconate, C12H22CA014. It prevents and treats calcium deficiencies. It is used as a cardioprotective agent in hyperkalemia. The normal adult dosage is 500 to 2,000 milligrams, and it should be taken 2 to 4 times a day. Vincristine, mitotic inhibitor, used in cancer chemotherapy. It was approved by FDA in 1963, and it belongs to a class of drug known as vinca alkaloids. Meglumine iotrioxate. Its brand name is Beloscopin. It is a contrast dye used for X-ray purposes. It is used to detect tumors in the liver. Flufenazine. It is used to treat symptoms of schizophrenia, and some side effects include agitation, constipation, and dizziness. Ferrous salt and folic acid. It is used in the prevention of iron and folic acid deficiencies in pregnant women. A normal daily dosage is 120 milligrams of iron and 400 micrograms of folic acid. Cloxacillin. It is used against staphylococci that produces beta-lactamases. It was discovered and developed by Beecham. It is in the same class as penicillin. Allopurinol. It treats kidney stones and gout, which is arthritis due to uric acid buildup. It works by reducing the production of uric acid. Insulin is a hormone that controls blood glucose levels. Some trade names are Humulin R and Novolin R. The failure of production of insulin can cause diabetes, insulinoma, metabolic syndrome, and polycystic ovary syndrome. The destruction of insulin-producing beta cells is known as type 1 diabetes, and insulin-resistant and relative insulin deficiencies is known as type 2 diabetes. Emtricitabine, its brand name is Truvada. It's discovered by Dr. Leota. It is an analog of cystidine. It helps treat HIV. Some side effects are diarrhea and headache, and it should only be taken once a day. Aluminum diacetate helps to reduce itching, stinging, and inflammation associated with infection. Medicines that contain aluminum diacetate contain about 0.13 to 0.5% of it. It is prepared in a reaction of sodium aluminate with acetic acid. Catamine, also known as Catanus, Catacet, and Catalar. It is used in human and veterinary medicine. It is used for the induction and maintenance of anesthesia. Also, it is used for depressions.
Chlorophenamine helps relieve allergy symptoms. Also helps relieve common cold symptoms. Its side effects include confusion and hallucination, and it should only be taken twice a day. Omeprazole. It's an over-the-counter drug used for immediate relief of heartburn symptoms. It was marketed by AstraZeneca and its trade name is Prilosec. Phenethylamine. It's a natural monoamine alkaloid that is naturally found in cocoa. It's used as a dietary supplement for weight loss and can be addictive.
Anti-D immunoglobulin. It reduces the risk of Reyes hemolytic disease in babies by preventing the formation of antibodies. It is given by intramuscular injection, and it was first administered in 1968. Its trade name is Royalphilic 300. Beclomethasone. It is known as clenin and allanase. It is used for the prophylaxis of asthma in the form of an inhaler. It is a white, creamy, odorless powder. It is a glucocorticoid steroid. Benzoic acid and salicylic acid. Its trademark name is Whitfield's ointment. It treats skin irritation and inflammation. It is used to treat athlete's foot. It contains 6% benzoic acid and 3% salicylic acid. Primaquine. It is used to treat malaria and pneumonia. It is part of a 14-day radical cure cycle. Some side effects include cramp and severe itching. It was approved by the FDA in 1952.
Ethionamide is an antibiotic prodrug that's used in the treatment of tuberculosis. It's marketed under the trade name Trecador. It was first discovered in 1956, and it works by inducing the expression of an NAD derivative, which is toxic to fungi. Decanal is the simplest 10-carbonaldehyde. It occurs naturally and is used in fragrances and flavoring. Decanal occurs in nature as an important component in citrus, along with octanal, citral, and cincinal. Decanal is also an important component of buckwheat odor. Decanal can be prepared by oxidation of the related alcohol decanol. Ultra-long-lasting sulfonamide is often used in combination with pyrimethamine to treat or prevent malaria, and the combination of sulfadoxine and pyrimethamine. Pyrimethamine is a medication used for protozoal infections. It's also used in the treatment of Toxoplasma gondii infections in immunocompromised patients such as HIV-positive individuals, and these drugs are classified as anti-malarial medications. Mefloquine is an orally administered medication used in the prevention and treatment of malaria. It's typically taken 1 to 2 weeks before entering an area with malaria. It is not recommended for severe malarial infections. It causes abnormalities with heart rhythms that are visible on an electrocardiogram.
Valproic acid, mood stabilizing drug, histone deacetylase inhibitor, used in the treatment of epilepsy, bipolar disorder, and major depression, taken in the forms of capsules, delayed release capsules, and solution. Ceramine sodium, used for the treatment of human sleeping sickness, given as 1 gram intravenous injections weekly for 6 weeks at a time. Investigated for the treatment of prostate cancer. Urea, used for psoriasis, sclerosis, eczema, corns, and calluses. It promotes the rehydration of the skin. Heparin sodium, anticoagulant which prevents the formation of clots. It's used before surgery to prevent clots. Major side effects are hemorrhage and osteoporosis. Tetracycline is a broad-spectrum antibiotic. Many bacteria are now resistant to it. It's used to treat UTIs, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and rosacea. Rifampicin isoniazide pyrazinamide. It works by targeting RNA polymerase. It prevents bacteria from forming a cell wall. Atropine, used to treat tremor, excessive salivation, and sweating caused by Parkinson's disease. Used during surgery to help maintain proper heart function. Medroxyprogesterone acetate and estradiol cypionate, hormonal contraceptive injected every 28 to 33 days intramuscularly. Common name, Lunel. Coal tar, used topically to treat psoriasis, provides temporary relief of dryness, redness, and flaking. Quinine, occurs naturally in the bark of the chinchoa tree, can also be found in tonic water. It's the first effective treatment of malaria. Dexamphetamine, common name Vyvanse, was made to be a less abusive form of dextroamphetamine. It's used to treat ADHD.
Ofloxacin, which is known as Floxin, fights bacteria in the body. It is considered to be a second-generation fluoroquinolone. It's a racemic mixture, which is 50% levofloxacin and 50% detrofloxacin, and its side effects are swelling or tearing of tendons. Chlorhexidine, effective on gram-negative and gram-positive bacteria, has both bactericidal and bacteriostatic mechanisms of action, which is membrane disruption. It is used in mouthwash, contact solution, and acne skin washes. Deferoxamine is used to treat acute iron poisoning, especially in small children. It can be used to treat aluminum toxicity, but is not FDA approved. It colors the urine a pinkish red, and is used in anemia patients who require blood transfusions. Methylrosaline chloride, also known as crystal violet, is used to classify bacteria. It has antibacterial and antifungal properties. It is used to treat yeast infections, and its side effect is staining the skin.
Typhoid vaccine. Vaccine used against typhoid fever. There are two types, live vaccine and a subunit vaccine. Lithium carbonate. Used to treat mania, which is the advanced stage of bipolar disorder. Inhibits protein kinase C activity in the brain. Cinna. Trade name, Cinocot. Used to treat constipation or before rectal or bowel examinations or surgery. It's a laxative.
Tetracaine. Trade names Pontocaine, Imitop, and Dicaine. Used as a local anesthetic. Alters the function of calcium release channels.
Praziquantel, commonly called biltricide, used against flatworms and other internal parasites, was developed by Bayer AgriScience in the mid-1970s.
Cotrimoxazole. Cotrimoxazole is used to treat upper and lower respiratory tract infections. It is also used to treat bladder and urinary tract infections. It is marketed worldwide under Septra and Bactrim. It is a combination drug of trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole.
Medroxyprogesterone acetate, commonly known as Depo-Provera, is a widely used, highly effective form of birth control. It's also used to treat endometriosis. It can cause birth defects in women that are already pregnant. Gentamicin. Gentamicin is an aminoglycoside antibiotic. It's used to treat tuberculosis, septicemia, cystic fibrosis, and UTIs. It can be given intravenously or intramuscularly. Kanamycin. Kanamycin is used to treat a variety of infections. It is an aminoglycoside antibiotic. Some side effects are that it can cause a loss of hearing and it is toxic to the kidneys. Pyridoxine. Pyridoxine is one of the forms of vitamin B6. It balances sodium and potassium levels in the body. It is used to prevent peripheral neuropathy, and overdose can cause serious damage to sensory nerves. The hepatitis A vaccine is used to treat hepatitis A. It's made out of inactivated hepatitis A virus. It is 95% effective at prevention, and it lasts for 10 years. Trimethoprim. Trimethoprim is used to treat prophylaxis and UTIs. It contributed to the win of the Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine in 1988. It is a dihydrofolate reductase inhibitor. It also treats Klebsiella pneumonia. Paracetamol. Paracetamol is a non-opioid, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. It is an over-the-counter analgesic. It's used for common headaches and minor pains. Some common names are Tylenol, aspirin, Feverol, and Genepep.
Sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is also known as baking soda. It can be taken orally to relieve heartburn. Can be made into a paste that relieves itching from insect bites. Can also be used as an antiseptic for minor burns. Diphtheria antitoxin. This is an antibody produced by the human body after contact with diphtheria. It is given as an injection. 1 dose is given in the muscle for prevention. For treatment, 1 to 6 doses is needed depending on the person. Glucose. Glucose is a very common and basic sugar. It is the main product of photosynthesis. High levels of glucose in the body could indicate diabetes. It is also called blood sugar and corn sugar. Furosemide. Furosemide is used to treat edema in people with congestive heart failure and liver disease. It's also used to treat high blood pressure. It works by making the kidneys eliminate more water and electrolytes than normal. It goes by the trade name Lasix. Potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate is used as an antiseptic because it is a good oxidizing agent. Dilute solutions are used to treat canker sores and dermatitis. It's used to disinfect drinking water, and it used to be used to treat gonorrhea. Clomiphene. Clomiphene is a selective estrogen receptor modulator which increases the production of gonadotropins. It's used in female infertility as an ovarian stimulant. It's also used by males as an anabolic steroid, and it is illegal in most sporting events. Iohexol. Iohexol is commonly used as a contrast agent during coronary angiography. It's available in various concentrations from 140 to 350 milligrams of iodine per milliliter. Its trade name is Omnipaque.
Ciprofloxacin was patented in 1983 by Bayer. It treats infectious diarrhea, gonorrhea, UTI, and anthrax.
Prednisolone is in the steroid class. It treats allergic disorders, skin conditions, arthritis, psoriasis, and breathing disorders.
Ceftriaxone treats pneumonia, bacterial meningitis, Lyme disease, and typhoid fever. Also has been investigated for efficacy in preventing relapse to cocaine addiction. Chlorpromazine is used to treat symptoms of schizophrenia as well as mania in people who have bipolar disorder. It is also known as Thorazine.
There are 2 types of meningococcal meningitis vaccine. This vaccine protects against meningitis, which is a bacterial infection of the covering of the brain and spinal cord.
Naloxone was developed by Sanko in the 1960s and it is used to counter the effects of opiate overdose.
Praziquantel is used mainly for flatworm infections. It induces contraction of the parasites, resulting in paralysis in the contracted state.
Ferrous salts are used to fortify foods. They treat iron deficiency anemia, and a common side effect is constipation.
Cycloserine is a second-line drug that is effective against Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Common side effects are central nervous system manifestations. Capsaicin is found in chili peppers. It is a topical ointment that relieves pain of peripheral neuropathy, commonly used in food products to give them added spice or heat.
Hydrochlorothiazide is used to treat high blood pressure and fluid retention. It is also used to prevent kidney stones in patients with high levels of calcium in their blood.
Ergocalciferol is a form of vitamin D, also called vitamin D2. It is created from biosterol and is found in fungi.
Magnesium sulfate, commonly called Epsom salt, is used to treat aches and pains and is used in powder form in the lab as a drying agent.
Epinephrine, also called adrenaline, is a hormone and neurotransmitter. It increases heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and dilates air passages. It treats cardiac arrest, anaphylaxis, and superficial bleeding.
Zinc sulfate. Zinc sulfate reduces the severity and frequency of diarrhea in children, and zinc sulfate, like many zinc compounds, can be used to control moss growth on roofs.
Haloperidol treats the symptoms of schizophrenia and acute psychotic states and delirium. Also used to control motor tics in patients who have Tourette's disorder.
Methylthioneal chloride, trade name methylene blue, is used to treat itch and is an antidote for cyanide poisoning and as a bacteriological stain.
Diamox, a carbonic anhydrase inhibitor used to treat conditions like glaucoma, epileptic seizures, and altitude sickness. It interferes with bicarbonate resorption in kidneys, thereby reacidifying the blood.
Lamivudine is an antiviral medication that prevents human immunodeficiency virus or hepatitis B virus cells from multiplying in your body. The overall structure has several different functional groups and exhibits polarity. Metoclopramide is used to treat slow gastric emptying in people, which can cause nausea, vomiting, heartburn, loss of appetite, and a feeling of fullness after meals. The overall structure consists of a cyclic ring with several different functional groups, and it also exhibits polarity. Levonorgestrel is a drug that is commonly known as Plan B. It is also used as an active ingredient in some hormonal contraceptives. The overall structure of the drug is considered to be in the class of steroids.
Amiloride is a potassium-sparing diuretic that prevents your body from absorbing too much salt and keeps your potassium levels from getting too low.
The structure of amiloride contains several functional groups such as halides, nitrogen-containing groups, and carbonyls. The structure has one cyclic ring and exhibits polarity on several different parts of the structure. Intermediate-acting insulin is a drug used to help treat type 1 and type 2 diabetes. The main objective of the drug is to decrease blood glucose levels. The natural insulin of the body is produced in the pancreas. The molecular mass of this drug is 5,808 grams per mole. Over millions of people a part of the U.S. suffer from both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and many suffer and die from the disease annually. Codeine is a very popular drug that is also known by different trade names. Codeine is also known as 3-methylmorphine. The drug is absorbed very quickly in the GI tract. Although it is mainly used as a pain reliever, it also is used to relieve a non-productive cough along with treating diarrhea. Primaxine is an antibiotic related to the penicillin family. It disrupts the ability of bacteria to form cell walls. Both of the structures of primaxine consist of several functional groups while also exhibiting polarity.
Metformin is a drug that is used for treatment of type 2 diabetes. Its goal is to suppress glucose production by the liver. It is used specifically in overweight people suffering from type 2 diabetes, and a large case control study has suggested that metformin may protect an individual from pancreatic cancer. Potassium chloride has several different uses, such as being used as a table salt substitute, being used in cardiac surgeries to stop heartbeat, and even used as a suicide agent. The normal concentration in the body is 3.5 to 5.0 milliequivalents per liter. It is also odorless in its pure state. Chloroxylenol is an antimicrobial chemical used to control bacteria, algae, and fungi in adhesives, emulsions, paints, and wash tanks. The overall structure consists of a cyclic ring with several different functional groups. Aspirin is used to relieve minor aches and pains. The natural source of the drug is white willow bark. Today, aspirin is one of the most widely used medications in the world. The structure consists of a cyclic ring along with functional groups, and its overall structure exhibits polarity. Griseofulvin is a drug that treats fungal infections of the skin and nails. It is used in both animals and in humans. The overall structure consists of different functional groups and also exhibits polarity. Hydrocortisone is a steroid that is used as an immunosuppressive drug given by injection in the treatment of severe allergic reactions such as anaphylaxis and angioedema. It is used topically for allergic rashes, eczema, psoriasis, and other inflammatory skin conditions. Nystatin is a drug that is used for cutaneous, vaginal, mucosal, and esophageal candida infections. It is given orally and applied topically. It comes in tablets, capsules, and liquid to take. There are currently no injectable formulations of this drug. Cefoxitin is a common meningitis drug that is part of the fourth generation of cephalosporins. It is active against gram-positive bacteria, can also treat infections such as respiratory tract infections and skin infections. Abdominal pain is a side effect of the drug. Pneumococcal vaccine is a vaccine that protects against bacteria that causes meningitis and pneumonia. There are two types, polysaccharides and conjugates. Polysaccharides give 85% protection for 5 years in those 55 and younger. The drug was first licensed in the U.S. in 1977. Artesunate is a drug that is used primarily for the treatment of malaria. It may be given by injection, and it also is the first choice of treatment for severe malaria. It must always be given with another anti-malarial drug. Propylthiouracil is a drug used to treat hyperthyroidism. It has a serious risk of liver problems and is no longer recommended as a primary source of medicine. The drug was approved by the FDA in 1947.
Flucytosine. Flucytosine is used to treat serious fungal infections in the body. Its dosage is orally 4 times a day for every 6 hours. Its side effects are diarrhea, drowsiness, dry mouth, and loss of appetite. It was first synthesized in 1957, but its properties weren't discovered until 1964. Insulin. Insulin is used to treat patients with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is a condition in which the body does not make enough insulin or it does not use insulin properly. Side effects are confusion, nausea, hunger, and tiredness. It was first used in 1922 and it was FDA approved in 1939. Tetanus immunoglobulin is used to provide short-term resistance against tetanus. Tetanus is a disease marked by spasms of voluntary muscles. Its dosage is distributed through injection. Its side effects are soreness, pain, and tenderness at the injection site. This is not a vaccination, only for emergency situations. Benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide is used to treat mild to moderate acne. It's used in cleansing liquid or bar, lotion, cream, and gel for the skin. Its side effects are dryness, feeling of warmth, irritation, itching, and mild peeling. It is the first organic peroxide prepared by intentional synthesis.
The drug fludarabine is used to treat HIV and AIDS by slowing down the spread of HIV significantly. It allows HIV to become AZT resistant.
This is the drug medroxyprogesterone acetate, used to treat irregular periods and also a form of contraceptive, sold under the trade name of Provera or Depo-Provera.
triclobenzol. Usage is to treat immature and adult liver flukes. Dosage 110 milligram dose after eating. Side effects, diarrhea, and stomach cramps. Amodiaquin. Usage, anti-malarial and anti-inflammatory agent. Dosage, 10 milligrams once daily for 3 days. Side effects, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, tinnitus, irregular heartbeat, and liver damage.
Fluoxetine. It's an antidepressant of the class SSRI. It treats major depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, bulimia, and panic disorder. Trade names include Prozac, Seraphim, Fontex, and Rapaflux.
Promethazine, derivative of medication class phenothiazine, dosage distributed in tablet, syrup, or suppository form, usage sedative, allergy relief, and antiemetic medicine. Glutarol, organic compound used to disinfect medical and dental equipment, microbicide effective against all vegetative bacteria, fungi, and viruses.
Other names include glutaric aldehyde, glutaric dialdehyde, and glutarolum.
Diethylcarbamazine, derivative of parasite expelling agent piperazine, kills worms by affecting the nervous system, dosage based on body weight, and not effective against tapeworms or pinworms.
Penicillin 5. It's a drug from the antibiotic class beta-lactam. It works by inhibiting the synthesis of cell walls, and it treats many infections, including those caused by Streptococcus pyogenes.
Aluminum hydroxide. Usage treats symptoms of stomach acid that include heartburn, upset stomach, sour stomach, or acid indigestion. Found in nature as the mineral gibbsite, and dosage and frequency of use depend on the condition being treated. Azathioprine, used with other medications to prevent rejection of kidney transplant. In drug class called immunosuppressives, dosage information includes taking twice daily with meals and is important to take at the same time daily.
Vancomycin. It's a naturally occurring glycopeptide antibiotic made by actinobacteria. It prevents infection caused by gram-positive bacteria. It treats colitis by killing bacteria in the intestines.
Clotrimazole. It's an antifungal medication used against oral thrush, yeast infections, and ringworms. Dosage information includes for oral thrush 5 times daily for 14 days and is available as a cream or in lozenge form.
Retinol. It's one of the animal forms of vitamin A. It's essential for skin health, vision, bone growth, and teeth remineralization. It also has applications in stem cell differentiation.
Thiamine, also known as the water-soluble vitamin B1, it breaks down sugars in the diet and is synthesized by bacteria, fungi, and plants.
Capsaicin. It produces a burning sensation of any of the tissues within mammals. Its natural source is chili peppers, and it also helps relieve pains of arthritis.
Sulfasalazine. It's used primarily as an anti-inflammatory agent. It's used for the treatment of inflammatory bowel disease, and it's recommended that you drink plenty of fluids while taking this drug.
Morphine. Morphine is found in poppy. It's an opiate medication for the treatment of severe pain, and it was sold by Merck.
Levamisole. It's from the group anthelmintics. Dosage is determined by the doctor dependent on the infection, and it treats parasitic worm infections.
Cefepime is a fourth-generation cephalosporin antibiotic. It has extended activity against gram-positive and gram-negative organisms, and it was first marketed in 1994. Neostigmine is an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. It mimics the parasympathetic nervous system, and side effects include headache, bradycardia, and nausea.
Tenofovir. From the antiretroviral drug class NRTI, it treats HIV and chronic hepatitis B. Adult dosage 300 milligrams per day orally for HIV and hepatitis B treatment.
Bacillus calmette-guerin vaccine is a vaccine used against tuberculosis. One of the most widely used vaccines in the world, it's prepared from a strain of live tuberculosis bacteria.
Insulin. It's a hormone secreted by the beta cells of islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. It causes cells to store excess glucose as glycogen and is the first protein to have its primary structure determined.